We're on.
Sick.
What's up?
Nothing much, man.
This is podcast number 22.
Damn.
Today we got one of our friends here, Carlos. Carlos, introduce yourself.
Carlos, I don't even know what to say. But here I am, podcast number 1 for me.
Where you from, Carlos?
I'm from Lowell, Mass.
Were you born here?
Yeah, I was born here. Of course. American,
Yeah, but like your hair, like your ethnicity, as in like where your parents are
my
from?
parents came from, yeah. They're from Colombia, both of them.
Both from Colombia. Have you ever been to Colombia?
Yeah, of course.
Where?
Medellin, that's it.
Medellin?
Oh, in Cali, sorry. In Cali.
You went to Cali as well?
Yeah.
When did you go?
I used to go, when I was little, I moved there when I was little until like I was like 5. So from like 2 to 3 years, and then I'd go every summer from then on until I was like 17. And then that's it.
Yeah. Put the mic closer.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that's good right there. Hey, and kind of flip it down slightly. Just a little more. No, flip it down. Yeah. There you go. You're good. Yeah. And you can talk close to it like this, so it's like really, really legible like when you speak. So yeah. And today is the first day you meet Case, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Case.
What's up?
So I mean, since we started on this, like, let's talk about heritage.
Heritage.
Yeah.
All right. So episode number
22.
22.
Yeah.
Day 546.
Yeah, we're going to talk about experiences because Carlos was in the military.
Oh, no way.
What were you in the military, Carlos?
When was I?
Yeah.
I was in from 2010 to 2015, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
15.
And you got deployed to
Afghanistan.
Marine?
No.
No, Army. I do that every time.
Disrespectful.
So, kind of explain to us for those who are not familiar with...
For us civilians.
Yeah, for civilians, I guess you can say. Armies, Marines,
So,
Navy, and all that stuff. Like how are you
legit?
guys...
Like, how do we coordinate with each other, and how does it all
Not even
work?
coordinated. How are you guys, structured?
I mean, it's all structured.
Because if I call you, like you say you were Army, right? But I was gonna say you're a Marine or like a Ranger by accident because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Absolutely
how do
never.
It's like what's the difference? And
so we're brought up to be like so.
So when you go enlist, you enlist for the Army.
Army, yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of times it's basically like who's open and who's gonna take you right, when you first join. Because I feel like that's everybody's story. And then once you're in, let's say you're in basic training, and then you learn like, oh, you don't want to be Marines. The Marines are dumb.
Okay. You didn't say that.
You can say whatever you want. You keep going. But it's like a healthy rivalry, I think.
Okay, it's a nice healthy rivalry. Gotcha.
And then you have, the Air Force, which you be like, oh, they got all the nice stuff. Like if you want to go there and chill out and join the military, that's where you go.
Don't you need like a recommendation to join the Air Force?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's what I heard.
I think it's kind of the same thing. You join, and then you actually go to an Air Force base, an Air Force recruitment office, and then you recruit there, and then you sign your paperwork there. Now you become part of the Air Force, and then you take tests, right?
So you take
to
your
see where you're going to be.
To be a pilot, you got to get recommended.
Like an aptitude
right?
to be a pilot. I think you have to be there
officer.
forever.
Yeah. So you have to be an officer. Like helicopter pilots. I know in the Army. I don't know how to do it anywhere else, but to be a pilot, you have to be an officer, unless it's like a helicopter pilot, and then you could be a warrant officer. Like you can't just be commissioned. I mean, like non-commissioned officer. So you have to go into a transition of some sort of officer.
And you have to take classes and everything.
Yeah, you have to go to school for that. Like to be an officer, you have to go to college. Like you have to. You could either go to a military college or like UMass, where they offer cadets. Like they'll give you, let's say, we'll pay for your bachelor's degree, but you have to give me 8 years of your life into the Army.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get a bachelor in whatever field you want.
Yes.
But at least you throw back 8 years of service.
So like you could probably do like some type of like engineering or.
You could do whatever you want. Okay. It's your degree.
So you have to go to college because pretty much the Army is paying for it.
Yes.
But what if you're not? But what if you go to college that you paid out of your pocket?
The Army will also pay for it. So there's two different types. So there's the GI Bill that you. So once you join, you have to put $100 in for 12 months, which is only $1,200. But when you're private, that's a lot. $100. You only getting like $600. You're like, damn. But anyways, and there's also I don't know what the program's called, but they'll just pay for your college that you already went to.
Oh, okay. So they kind of reimburse you for what you went to college
For, yeah.
So it's kind of like, all right, we're gonna pay you what you paid for, but you're gonna give us service.
Yeah,
for
you
X
sign a
amount of years. Okay,
contract.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Sign a
I got
contract.
you.
That's for the enlisted way. So like,
Right.
but the officer way is. So let's say you're just a cadet in UMass, right? You have to do all this training. Like you're still learning to be in the Army. Like you still have to go to basic training.
Mhm.
You still get to go to like Army schools. So you're in the Army, but you're just a student.
Okay.
You know?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it might not work for everyone, but I think it works for a lot of people.
no, yeah, definitely, because
You come out with a degree.
and you're an officer, so you automatically come with high pay. So you get paid as an E6, and generally speaking, let's say like an E6 will be in the Army for, on average, is like 8 to 10 years. You know?
Okay.
That's a good long time.
You know,
Kind of like almost like career.
Yeah, it is, you know, because then E7 is like 12 years. Or some people, if you're like really good, like super high speed, like I have a buddy of mine who's been in Army for 7 years, and they say 7 and 7. So he made all the way to E7 in 7 years. But he's like really good. Like
Yeah.
he's a really
He
good
works hard
soldier.
at it,
Yeah,
too.
he's a real good soldier. Like that's what he was made for.
Mm-hmm.
So
Some people are just like
yeah, exactly.
bred for that.
Exactly.
They're born to be there.
And but if not, it's like 6 years. So they get paid as what an E6 would get paid first year in the Army, but they're officers, and there's a lot more work that
Yeah.
goes into it. You know, like I feel like you don't get that. Like you make good friends like with other officers, but you're not really in that enlisted side like that, like dirty side like that.
The brotherhood.
I mean, they're still part of it. Like don't get me wrong, I have a lot of officers that you know I still care about. Like they're good people, but it's just not the same. Like
Yeah, because you get
They're the
guys
boss.
who's like kind of like so like the officer's kind of like like office bred, and then you get the guys who's on the ground.
exactly.
That's the difference right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you're digging a hole, and he's never like dug a hole.
Yeah, he's never like
You know what I mean?
crossed that
But
line.
so let me say like, so let's say there's a guy who joins the Army and is a regular cadet, and then he climbs through the ranks to become an officer. Does that make it so that people respect him a little bit more?
So you start. The only way so you should show you go from green to gold. That's what they call it. And now you're in the Army. Let's say whatever rank you are, and then you have prior college. You can go green to gold. So now you're just enlisted, and then you'll transfer over to be an officer. Now that's cool because a lot of people do respect that, and I find that when an officer comes from a background that he was a non-commissioned officer, he's just better equipped because he understands like.
What it is to be a cadet?
Oh no,
Like,
not a cadet, just a regular soldier. Because a cadet is just somebody who goes to West Point, let's say, a military college, or somebody who goes, just like that, UMass. But from green to gold, you have to be enlisted. So you were in the suck, per se. As an infantryman,
Yeah.
you're in the
You
suck.
got your boots dirty.
Exactly. So like, or you know how it is to like, why the hell am I still here? It's 7 o'clock at night, and I'm just sitting here. Like, what's the point? Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Can you guys send me home?
Mm-hmm.
So like, he would understand that. Well, an officer won't understand. Like, he'd be like, oh, if I'm staying here, you're staying here. And he'd be like,
Oh,
no,
I
send
see.
the men home. If we need them, we'll let them know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so they do get more respect if they started from the bottom up a little
Yes,
bit.
exactly. Of course.
Yeah. So like, did you have any like really good officers when you were deployed?
So of course, Lieutenant Gilbert, he lives in D.C. now. He got out. One of my favorite NCO. He was an NCO, but one of my favorite officers. Like we got him like 4 months into the deployment. Greatest dude ever. Like real cool, down to earth dude. Like I like him.
Acted like a human.
I mean, more like a superhuman, cause that dude. But he's down to earth. Like you could just talk to him and he won't kind of like look down at you because he's an officer. Cause that's kind of like the stigma sometimes,
They look down on
Yeah.
ranks, stuff like that.
Yeah, so like they're like, oh, I'm a captain, so.
So who are you? 'Cause you're below
Exactly.
Yeah, like,
like
get down and give me 20.
like a lot of times that won't happen in the real world because an officer doesn't tell an enlisted soldier to do push-ups. That's for the NCOs.
Oh, okay.
That's from the movies,
But-
though. Same from the movies.
But they will give you trouble if you don't salute.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
You just get,
Oh, yeah.
oh man, you get.
You get also like they'll be like, well, you had leave, now you don't have leave anymore. Stuff
no,
like
so
that?
it won't. No, I won't go that serious. Cause leaves. So for you not to get leave, like let's
You
say.
have to do something stupid.
Yeah, like you fucked up. Like you're not going home because you fucked up. Like not just for salute. Like you'll probably get smoked before you leave.
Really?
Like Big Sarge coming, gonna fuck your whole shit up. but that's because it's like it's the culture. It's what you do is respect. So everything is respect in the
Yeah,
military.
there's a chain of hierarchy.
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
have to, like, formally respect.
Yeah, you have to. So once you teach that to a young soldier, like it just keeps going. And if you lose that, there's no army. I feel like that's
it teaches you discipline.
Yeah.
You know, that's
So
the
you
most
think
important
if you have an unruly teenager, sometimes the army might be
thing. Well, you whip that.
a good
put shit into
idea?
shape.
A good idea
Right.
to put someone into shape?
oh hell yeah.
Like
I
you
would-
have some fucking punk ass teenager son, enlist his ass.
There's not one person I know that
Make
That-
him enlist.
talked about that who was like he was being a douchebag or a dickhead
Yeah.
in growing up, but then when they were sent to the army, they came back out like
I
really
know-
disciplined.
I know people.
It was like they did like a 180, or some people who were just mad chill, mad cool. But when they came out, like they went to the
Basic
military.
training.
Yeah, they came back out and they were just like,
yeah.
you know,
they
and I
come
was
back
like,
different
you changed,
people.
but you changed for the better.
do you,
Yeah.
You know,
do you think you changed?
You
Oh,
don't.
man.
They don't change in a way where it's like it makes them different from who they were, but they change in the way their attitude is, and they're more. They're just more disciplined. They're the same person, but they're like more in line with
More
I
like
don't
a
know,
straight
what
up
is it?
guy.
Yeah, I want to say I don't know what the term is to
Nah,
use, but
that's straight
Yeah.
up. You know,
Yeah.
he became in
He
a boy,
became a
man.
man,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, he became
comes
more
out
real.
man.
Yeah.
You know, he's honest. He became more real, not like a guy who's just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
talking out the mouth.
yeah.
So I mean, but I see a little bit of a difference of army soldiers between like army soldiers versus Marines. I feel like a lot of the Marines that I've met, they tend to think of themselves a little bit better than the army guys.
Bit better. They think they're a lot better.
You know what I mean? Like, like a lot of them was like, because one of the guys was telling me a story, and it's like, you know, when I enlisted, and then there was a guy next to me, and he said, "What do I get for being a Marine?" And the officer said, "You get to be called a Marine." But it's like, no, but the Army, they pay for my college, they pay for all this stuff, and it's like, what do I get for being a Marine? It's like, you get to be called a Marine.
Well, that's
It's like, it's a little bit like, he was filling his chest to say it too, he said, like.
that's the whole thing. So the Marine Corps does pay for your school too. You don't get it. Like they also have that. Anybody who joins any branch of service is gonna get their
Yeah.
school paid for. But that's the whole thing. So the Air Force is known to be you're smart. Like you ain't no regular Joe. Like you're fucking smart.
If you
Yeah.
go to the Air Force.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
because
what-
they're doing more technical jobs.
exactly. You know what I mean? Like whatever the fuck it is.
They're not real grunts.
But they're
They're
not. You
just
know what I
more-
mean? Exactly. So I don't know if it's true. Like the story is like if somebody in the Air Force sleeps in our barracks, in the Army barracks or Marine barracks, they have to get paid for like unfair living conditions. You know what I mean? Like that's I don't know if it's true
No
or not. Like it
shit.
had to come from somewhere.
It comes from someone, maybe an officer from, maybe an officer from
For your
there.
living, damn, really? You got a bed and a roof, and
But you have to
food.
understand. I think when a lot of times I hear there's a little bit of separation between the branches, but every branch has its role. I
Yeah.
mean, you need those guys in the Air Force that are like piloting the drones that are keeping you safe, watching you from the sky. You need the guys that are like, flying the AC-130s, whatever, to pick you up. There's always jobs. Like even the guy who's restocking the food, it's a job. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him it makes him not combat ready. It doesn't earn him like the brotherhood as much as it would. But it's sometimes you don't get to choose those jobs, do you?
I don't know how it is in the Army. You definitely get to choose.
You get to choose your job.
Yeah, you get to choose.
But you
job.
need those guys though, so you know what I mean. Like without them, you wouldn't be battle ready.
No,
like you
are.
wouldn't have your stuff.
Everybody has a role, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you work in the United States military. They all work in a cohesive union.
I'll tell you right now, it's like I think the United States military is run really good.
Like
I
we will
think
tear
compared
shit
to a
up
lot
if
of
we want to.
compared to other institutions in the government, the army runs well.
Well, that's because it's
You know, the army don't make mistakes, right?
never. Even if we're wrong, we're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the army don't make mistakes, son.
What was that?
I've seen that in every movie.
Now it came back because what was that movie? The G.I. Joe movie. With the scene where what was it? The scene where Damon Wayans and what's his name?
Channing Tatum.
Yeah, Channing Tatum was they were gearing up in their suit later on in the movie, and they were like they were talking. I remember they had some sort of riff between the two guys who were in the army, whatever, versus these other guys who were like, I don't know what they were.
Special forces.
But yeah, they're like
Delta,
special
some
forces,
shit.
and they were talking about how like hey, do your job, and we better not mess up. And the head of the army guy, who was like probably the captain or the commander, was like, these guys don't know how to lose. That was the one phrase that caught with me. He's like,
they don't know how to lose.
These guys don't know how to lose. They will win each and every time. It might have been just done to flare up
for a movie,
for a movie. But like does that attitude carry with like?
Of course, you don't fail. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Because when you fail, people get hurt.
exactly.
Yeah. We don't want to lose, but then again, it's like it's being very confident. We're saying these guys don't know how to lose.
But it's more than just not being. It's like you have to have that mindset. Like you're not gonna lose.
Yeah.
You're not gonna fail. You're gonna do it. Like you don't. So you don't have a choice. Like there's no choice. They're gonna tell you you're gonna win. You're gonna win.
Do you get like some of those people who's kind of like, I don't know, man, or like they get the jitters and it's kind of like.
Of course, everybody like.
Do people do like have you been in battles and stuff, like lots of bullets going everywhere kind of thing?
I want to say yeah, but not like.
Listen, man, whatever you're comfortable with, you can tell us. If you're not comfortable, you lift up your hand and
Alright, cool.
And the questions become something
we'll just move
different.
forward.
Alright,
Yeah.
cool. I'll say it's it's not like the movies. It's not like Black Hawk Down, which that was real. That actually happened.
Does it look really real? Like when you
Like,
watch the movie?
That shit is crazy. Like a lot of stuff, because it was like it. So, like that like I've never experienced anything like that. Like that's like a one-time thing. If you ever like in the movie they say like, oh we're just going out. We're gonna bag this dude and we're coming back. Like it's simple. Like they're just gonna go out, do what they need to do. If that's, take care of what they need to take care of, come back. But then it turned to a shit show.
A shit show, yeah.
And
Mogadishu was crazy.
You know what I mean? So,
because I don't know how realistic the movie is, but from what I've heard from the documentary, the movie is actually quite realistic.
yeah.
Like a lot of that stuff happened. Like guys getting shot left and right. They didn't know what to do. Guys running like 3 miles out of the city on foot.
No, they ran, so it's 20 miles.
Was it 20 miles?
20 miles, yeah.
Fuck,
So
man.
my buddy who was in Ranger Battalion, he told me, because I wasn't in Ranger Battalion, but every quarter they run 20 miles to remember the fallen.
Wow. Okay.
20 miles.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a marathon
At the end,
with guns on
at the end
you.
of the movie, they're like, oh, we're going to go back to pick up your Ranger. He's like, oh, we're going to go pick up the man. And the colonel was like, no, my Rangers will run back. Do you imagine what that is? They haven't eaten. Like,
Water.
Half your dudes are dead. They probably got some water because they got the dudes in the 10th Mountain came to relieve them, but they probably got water. But the whole fact that you're tired, you haven't slept.
Yeah, who sleeps when somebody's shooting at you?
You know what I
think it's pretty
mean?
hard.
You fucking half your dudes are dead, and you gotta run back 20 miles. Like that's a tough motherfucker. Like I've never had to experience some crazy shit like that.
Yeah, but you were shot at.
Yeah, of course.
I can't imagine that. Like for myself, like I've never been shot at, so I don't know how it feels.
Yeah.
I've been between people shooting at each other, but I've never been shot at. And that was pretty like, you hear the crack, you know what I mean? And it sounded like firecrackers. And I remember at the time I was with my ex-wife, and we're buying hot dogs at this little hot dog stand. And I looked and I see a guy on a bicycle, and there's a crowd of people like just in front of like a club kind of thing, and he was just like popping, just shooting, and we were in between. So I remember she looked at me and she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "There's a guy shooting." So I grabbed her and I was like, let's go behind the fucking thing, right? Because as soon as I saw him, like, let's get behind, because we're in between. You never know, you get shot too. It's crazy. Guy on a bicycle with flip flops, man. That's Brazil for you. Flip flops. So I mean, there wasn't fear for me at that time because he wasn't shooting at me, but there was like a rush of adrenaline, real quick. Like, let's get out of the way. Let's find cover.
I'll be lying if I said the first time that happened, I wasn't scared. Because I was. It's impossible. Like, whoever says they wasn't scared.
You're human.
Like,
You'd be crazy not to be scared.
You react, because that's what you're trained to do. You react. And you do what you have to.
You shoot back.
Yeah, but you're scared. Like, you are definitely scared. Whoever says they're not is bullshit. Because the first time, and the fact of the matter is that you might get used to it, but then you're still scared. Like, at the end of the day, you're always going to be scared of it. Like, you can't tell me, like, if some motherfucker came in here and started shooting, like, I'm not going to be scared because he's fucking shooting. Like, it's bullshit. Like, you can't tell me you're not scared.
Yeah. If you're not scared, you're crazy. You got something wrong, right? Yeah. Did you know any of those guys that were just, like, not all there? That would run towards shit that they shouldn't?
You always run
Or
towards
careless?
shit, No,
No, like careless? You never saw anybody careless?
Never careless.
What was your job?
Me, when I was downrange, I was a saw gunner.
Saw gunner?
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
It's M249.
It's a pretty heavy gun.
I forget. You know, I wish I could tell you such a long time how much it weighed. But
Was it like 12, 15, 20 pounds?
I think it was like 15 pounds, not 20, because M240 weighs like 23 pounds. And that bitch is heavy. Like, I want to say like 15 pounds around there.
That's the same as Jacob. Jacob weighs that. And when I carry him around, my arms are dead after a half hour. And I carry him for like long periods of time. And sometimes like, ugh, I can't imagine having one of those things on you all day, plus your pack.
So your pack, then you got your pack, you got your ammo. You know, you carrying at least 1,000 rounds.
Fuck.
You know, and I feel like when I was, you know, because I was a private, you're also a private at the time. So, like, they're just like, you're just a backpack. Like, oh, yo, here you go. Carry that for me. Carry that for me. Here you go. So you just got all this shit. And
You look
like,
strong, Carlos.
yeah, here you go.
You got out of there with some calves, I hope.
Yeah. Oh, you just carry all this shit, and then you just, I mean, it sucks at first, and then you get real strong, real fast.
And then it just becomes every day.
Yeah, you just
You know
like,
what they say, embrace the suck and it becomes regular life?
Yeah.
So when it doesn't suck, you feel weird?
yeah.
Like, what is going on? Why is today so easy? Yeah. You have any questions for him, Case? Like any curiosity?
No, I'm just listening to you know what you got to say, and you know it's mad respect.
That's
for that.
pretty cool.
There's a lot of it. You know.
Yeah. I'm fascinated because I tried to join myself when I was younger and
Yeah.
it just didn't work out.
No, it's interesting though. You know, 'cause I wasn't able to join because I have a medical condition. You know, but it's like just hearing it from you, and like I have a couple of friends who were in the same situation. They went and served, they came back, and I'm just like it's more like me listening to learn what you guys. It's like it's like I'm here sitting at home, but you guys are the one who's fighting for our freedom. You know, it's like so without guys like you, it's kind of like we wouldn't have this right now.
That's true, but here's my thing. A lot of this is now, I'm not speaking for every veteran here when I say this at all.
Speaking for yourself.
I'm speaking for
You
myself.
or you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I joined was, like, I don't want praise. Like, I don't want people to be like,
Thank you for your service.
exactly. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, but you're a different kind of guy though. Like since I've known you, like you've always said that.
Yeah, I've also known guys who are like, when they exit the airplane and they're coming down in uniform and they're just being, they're just coming home on leave, and they're walking to the airport and all of a sudden people just start clapping, and some people,
I'd feel so
some people are
awkward.
like, like it's you're welcome, but other people's like you don't need to clap for me.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So that's yeah, exactly. Like, when you come back from Afghanistan, you come from R&R, like, you get to Georgia, and there's like people at the USO, like, they clap for you, and at that moment, like, it's cool, like, you're like, oh man, that's what's up, like, they appreciate you, and they do it because when Vietnam veterans came back, they didn't get that.
They got spit on.
Exactly, like, that's disrespectful as fuck, like, but it was a different time. So now they keep that tradition up. They say thank you, even no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But the military did so much for me that there's no reason that people need to thank me. Because who I was to who I am now, like, yeah, I made mistakes after I got out, because I did.
Everybody does.
It's just, it opened like so many doors for me that I can't. That how can I expect you to say thank you for your service, or whatever you say? I don't even know. When all this stuff is just given to me, like, yo, here you go. Like, yeah, you paid $1,200 for fucking for your BAH for school, for your GI Bill, but then the first month that you go to school, you know, right now BAH is $2,800. You know what I mean? Mm. So, or if, you know, you go to the VA, and the VA does have its flaws. They will help, but they will help you out. Or just, you know, Massachusetts has a welcome home bonus. Here you go, you just got home. He's like, if you meet like all the criteria, it's like $2,500. Which if I just got home, like $2,500 is $2,500.
Yeah, it's no joke.
You know what
it's
I mean?
Good.
Or, you know, you just got out of the military, you can go collect unemployment. You know, when I first got out and you don't have a job, they was giving you $500, no questions asked. You know what I mean? So like,
they do take care of you.
They take care of you, and the VA might have flaws and stuff, but they definitely, like, I can't speak for New Hampshire or New York or Florida, but in Massachusetts, my experience is a positive one. So you can't. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't think.
What was the hardest thing, like, in the military for you?
In the basis of?
Like, anything. Was the hardest thing for you? Was it to leave? Was it to go to Afghanistan?
The hardest thing. Afghanistan, you know, when you're a kid, that's just... Well, by that time, you're already bred for it, so you're like, I'm fucking ready, let's go.
You can't wait to go.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. I can't say, like, if now with my daughter, now if I'm like, oh, you're going to Afghanistan, I'm like, damn, yo. Like, fuck.
It's different, because now you have a daughter.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, fuck.
But how about, like, when you're like, the days coming when you're, like, your deployment was done, and you were coming back for the last time? Was it hard? Like, those few days?
When you first get back?
Yeah.
You know...
No, I mean, like, when you're about to leave, was it hard? Like, you feel like you wanted to... Does it make you almost want to stay longer?
Nah, man, you're ready to come home.
Yeah.
You're fucking ready. I knew I was. I just wanted to come home, get fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking ready.
Get drunk.
I get drunk, go fuck some bitches. Like, fuck yeah. You know, being in a fucking cop with a fucking bunch of dudes, like, that shit sucks.
Yeah.
You know? Like, fuck. You ready to come home, even just gonna look at them.
Everybody smell bad. Yeah, you can't shower all the time.
Like, every 3 days you got to shower, like, fuck. I'm fucking doing laundry by hand, like, I want to see a washing machine. But in the same, so, coming back, being in the Army, the transition isn't hard. Like, so, because now you're coming back, you come home on leave, you go back, everything's still structured. When you get out the military, it's definitely the hardest part. Definitely.
Because you're not used to that regimen?
Yeah, exactly. So you're in there, and you think, oh, man, I can't wait to get the fuck out of the Army. Like, I can't fucking wait. Like, it's going to be the best thing since anything. Like, it's better than first piece of pussy you ever had. Like, I can't wait.
No way.
Is it like almost like I'm going to get my freedom back?
Exactly.
Like, not that structure is...
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
It's like moving to your parents' house.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
that's the closest I can think to it.
Yeah. But then you get out and it's fun at first, and you're partying, you're drinking, and then all the limelight goes away.
Like, that dies down? Like, all of that novelty?
Yeah, all that stuff goes away. Now you're stuck, and you're like, shit.
Fuck, I need some structure again.
Exactly.
Somebody tell me what to do. And that's why you got a girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
Totally disagree on that. Especially with the text you sent out earlier.
Yeah.
I wrote you.
Yeah, there you go. I wasn't even in the Army.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah, no, that's cool too. Like, it's cool for us, like, because me, I'm fascinated by the military myself, because, like, I feel like some people join for the right reasons. Some people join to get away. Some people, and I'm going to say a small percentage, join for the wrong reasons. And I've heard people say to me, like, I can't wait to shoot people. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, that's the whole basis of the military. Like, Some kids just join for that. So I don't think joining the military for any reason is a wrong reason. Or like you join the military to get out just to get benefits. Like that's the wrong reason. Like that's one reason I think is wrong.
Just for the benefits.
Yeah, like I think that's, you know what I mean? Like I went there because really I didn't have nothing. Who was I? You know, I was nobody. My mom said, yo, you're going to go get a job, you going to school because you're going to die out there. You're going to jail. Like you got to go do something. You ain't going to live here no more. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to school. I'm not getting a job. So I was like, I'm going to join the Army. I was a kid. I didn't know.
That idea popped up in your head.
But then you learn, you go there, you learn that some people are super patriotic. Like they join because they are patriotic, like they did.
Yeah.
Some dudes join because they wanted to get out. And
Get away from their life a little bit.
Yeah. You know, they wanted to get away or they want to just go kill something. You know what I mean? But you can't say I want to go kill something and then you're a fucking cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you're fucking S1, your logistics. Like, you can't say that. Like, if you say I'm gonna join the military because you better go be a goddamn infantryman. You better be a ranger. You better fucking.
You better be on top of a Humvee.
You know what I'm saying? You better fucking join the military to do something. Don't say you're gonna go kill. You want to go kill people and all you do is fucking flip hamburgers and shit because that's bullshit.
So if they go to the Army, they say they want to kill people, but then once they get there, like, no, I just want to flip burgers.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, I want to stay behind the line,
you know,
in the rear with the gear.
Let me know what you want to carry. I carry it for you.
There's like the military is quite fascinating, especially I think it's different in America. It's definitely different than a lot of places, but just because we have a volunteer army, which I think over the years is going to have to change, because there's no way they're going to be able to keep. Because people are different now. Like the millennials, they're totally different. They don't want to. A lot of them don't want to join.
I mean, it was different back in this. Wasn't it different back in the 60s and 70s?
Yeah,
it was different.
Yeah, it was all drafted.
They were
Once you were
drafted.
18, you were drafted.
Yeah, and people wanted to go too.
It wasn't until the 80s it changed.
Yeah,
well, it's because World War II was going on, some shit like that.
Yeah,
After
in World War II, it
after the
was
Vietnam War.
drafted, but World War II there was a lot of volunteers, and then it died down. And then in the Vietnam, there was a lot of draftees because they just needed people. Nobody wanted to fight a war in Southeast Asia, so they had to draft people.
Yeah.
And then I guess in the 80s they
like
changed. There was no
80s,
draft.
yeah.
And then they can call up a draft if it's needed.
If it's needed, right.
But then America went full 100% volunteer army. And we still have a pretty big freaking army. And I mean army as in covers some of everything.
Military,
Yeah. Just because I think the military gives you a lot of opportunities. I mean, for me, because we've had such a long period of war and veterans coming back and all of that stuff, firefighters, police officers, I think we should have a provision that puts in that for you to become one of those professions, you should be a veteran. Not necessarily a combat veteran, but a veteran nonetheless. Just because we have a lot of guys coming out and they just know confrontation. Now you have guys who know confrontation to deal with confrontation. Just teach him the psychological part of it. Give him good training. But because like if you just Joe Schmo from, I'll tell you a story. There was a guy I used to teach Muay Thai. Absolute fucking moron. Like nice kid, complete moron. And he wanted to be a cop. And I'm like, he couldn't even throw a punch. And it's not the fighting part. It's just like you talk to him, it's like there's something missing. You know, it's like he doesn't have that kind of common sense that's needed to be able to deal with the public. I mean, this is one of those guys that's going to come out and put a bullet in someone just because they, scratch their nose. Like we see on TV that happens. That, so...
But in the military, you find those dudes too, though. So don't get it wrong.
No, I totally understand. But the military is more open. I mean, like these jobs are talking, like the cops are dealing with civilians like us. So we don't want, but I would want someone who was in the military so we can reward him with a good job when he comes out too. So give him a preference ahead of other people.
So they do. They have preferences for that. So
no, I know they do. I think that this should be a little more. You know what I mean?
I feel that's a good idea and all, but
Especially firefighters for me, I think.
firefighters.
I have 2 friends who are Marines, and they're brothers, and they're both firefighters.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they both got deployed. One had a completely different job than the other. One was more in the shit. The other one was fixing airplanes. But they were both, and when they came out, they applied. First they were EMTs, because they're no stranger to fucking chaos, right? And then eventually they passed the test and they became full-time firefighters. So I mean, those guys are not gonna crumple when there's a fucking fire, and they're gonna pull someone out, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, someone is in the building, it's on fire, shit's getting crazy. They're going to go in and pull whoever is in there out because they're not scared, because they've been in situations.
Yeah, but
Not everyone has, but they have had the training.
But a firefighter will still get that training, I feel like. You know, I've never heard of a story of a firefighter being scared to run into a fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like once you get past certain training that you can't pass, like there's no way you qualify to be a firefighter.
Yeah,
because you can't have that.
Not taken away from anybody that is in there that was never in the military, but I feel like that's kind of a reward for our military vets.
Not even that, but there's a certain courage that individual needs to have to become a full-fledged firefighter.
Oh yeah, that's a crazy job.
Also,
you have a lot of crazy downtime, but when it's the shit, it's the shit.
Yeah, but same thing with like a police when it comes to like police, when officer, you know, that's why like some of them are just, you know, like just put them behind the desk, because like, hey, I know you want to help out, you want to be a police officer, but you don't have that I guess strength or courage to be out there on the streets.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put you behind a desk. At least you can.
And you can
way.
type, motherfucker.
You can be dispatch. It's cool. Don't worry about it. It's cool. You get to talk to everyone. What is,
my dog ate my kid.
Well, I mean, put it in that way, it's like, yeah, there is that courage, that line of courage where I think they'll test you that you can cross. Otherwise, you can't be, right? I don't know. I never took a test. I don't know what the test
there's
is
also
about.
people who've been there for a long time who know who can and can't go.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, have you ever read a story? They probably not going to publish it anyways. But like of a fire, and all of a sudden, like we got firefighter who's not running in to save, you know.
Yeah, but people talk though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, especially nowadays with social media,
exactly.
You know, everything's caught on camera. But then you always hear about, you know, like, oh, courageous firefighter rescue, you know, a 10-year-old child from the second floor of a burning building.
Yeah,
and they're always fighting because you know what? I think there's some sort of pride that goes into those people who apply for the jobs. Like, I'm gonna save these people regardless because I have
no matter how dangerous it is for myself.
no matter how it is, it's my job. It's my duty to uphold what I applied for.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
So it's like, if you like, why would you even want to become a firefighter if you're gonna be like, oh shit, there's a burning building, I'm gonna stay over here at the end of the
I'm driving the truck, man.
It's like, I'm going in there. These people need help. This is what I want to do. I want to help people. Same with the EMT people.
Exactly.
It's like, regardless what the chaos is or how much blood or how much, you know, whatever.
Because I want to save lives. Yeah.
I need to save lives. I need to be out there, and I think there's that individual that has that mentality.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just like, I don't like to sit in an office. I like to work outside.
Yeah.
You know, you have to want to do that stuff.
Yeah, you want to be part of the action.
Yeah.
And just, I need to do that.
So, like I was saying, like you sound like you're tough, and you don't put out there like, I'm a tough guy. But you sound like, it's not like you want to, but you sound like you're tough. But it's funny, you were telling me earlier that you did an interview, and just because you were in front of a screen, you froze like a kid.
Dude.
You get nervous. Right? Okay.
It's like I got this gun here, and I can shoot around, but that camera's scary. So tell us what happened.
Fucking, oh, man. I'm type of dude, I could just talk to anybody. I'll go in a classroom, face to face. We're just gonna talk. Like, I understand that you put your pants on just like I put my pants on. But when it's something important, like something that is like for my future or like whatever, I just freeze. Like, I don't know what it is. There's like a mental block. Like, I prepared all night for this interview. Like, my buddy he said, yo, study these things. They're gonna ask you. Like, and I did. And I was like, I'm fucking ready. Like, I'm talking about, I got up super early before my daughter woke up, took a shower, put my suit on. Like, I was ready. Like, I studied all night. And I get in front of the goddamn, I press next. And they're like, oh, what do you know about JetBlue? And I'm like, what things I know about JetBlue. The CEO of JetBlue is Robin Hayes. The JetBlue flies to 101 cities. And I just froze, like, it was horrible. And I practiced in the mirror too. Like, I was like, the things I know about JetBlue. The CEO of JetBlue is Robin Hayes. You got JetBlue flies to 101 cities. Major hometown is New York City with major airline carriers in Boston, Fort Lauderdale, Los Angeles. You guys employ 1,800. I mean, yeah, no, damn, see, I messed up right there. But I was practicing. It was good though. But besides the point, but I was getting it. Like in the mirror, I was good. And as soon as I pressed next, I was like, I don't know why. I just like, I get so nervous when it's for my future because I just think it's for my daughter. And then, like, I need to just be there for her. And then I just fuck it all up every time. I'm like, fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But it's probably because, like, you haven't had those types of interviews in the past. Like, you had one, you told me, but it's not like something you do it all the time. So maybe that's like a little unnerving. Maybe like Case has interviews on like all the time. I mean, at work, like meetings with big wigs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
kind of, not really.
Yeah, no, but you do have like, right?
Not interviews. I mean, you can say like sometimes we'll have meetings.
Yeah, but that's
Conference calls
that's still like,
and you have to be there to present yourself in your case, or not your case really, but you're there to talk about certain things about the job and what happened. It's kind of like, and yeah, you're just there on the spot. And that's kind of like, I kind of want to ask, like, was it because you were like put on the spot and like you have to really present yourself from here and now because this is what counts?
Because they're asking you to impress them.
Not because it was in the moment. So, like, I'm a school presentation, like, I don't care because I'm still going to school, and I'll be up there and I'll be like, ha, I got this. It's when it's like so I hold this to very, like, it's one of my goals, like, I need this. And then I don't know why. It's just like, because I can talk. Like, I can talk in front of people, and I can teach people, and, like.
So something that really matters, like, you don't want to, like, mess up.
Just because you were so
like
scared of fucking up because it was so
like,
important if it fucked you up.
Yeah, you wanted, like, to be perfect. Because you rehearse, like you said, and you rehearse it, and, like, I need to perfect it, like, the way I'm rehearsing now. And then when you get to it, you kind of draw a blank because you're too...
Just so you know, JetBlue...
into the moment and, like, trying to, like, remember what you said.
If you're watching the podcast, come on, you want to hire this guy. Just because he, started in the camera or whatever, doesn't mean he's not going to be good. I think he's going to be great for the job. Right? You want to hire, you want to call him today.
Yeah. It's like a lot of pressure for you. There's a lot of pressure you put on yourself. That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's because you really want the job. You want to do a good job. You want a future, and that's probably why it happened. That's why JetBlue should hire you.
So it's not what they see, but
I mean, I think sometimes those interviews shoot people in the foot a little bit.
No, you know what those interviews are? It's so messed up because I read on an article where it's like most of the time, the people, when they go into interview, they're hiring you based on your charisma, not on your qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times. Because if you can talk and you can suck up somehow, you get the job. But if you're qualified and you're out there, like, I got a list of this and this and this and that, but if you can't talk the talk, you're not going to get the job.
And a lot of people are not about talk; they're about actions.
Yeah, they are. Because how can a person who can just talk and bullshit? Because they
me,
they can talk, but then I know it's maddening. It shouldn't be like that. You're qualified. And you're
I think there should be
overqualified.
2 types of interviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 process. Well,
one way they look at
they do.
Process.
Yeah, they do have 2 process, but it's the 2 process, not of the one where it's kind of like, let's see how qualified he is, strictly only, versus how does he act or react to our questions. That shows his personality. One should be qualifications. If he's really qualified for it, but he's kind of nervous and stuff like that, that should be overlooked. On the nervous part, because he's obviously he's got this on paper. We got references we can call back, and it's like, and they're like, yeah, Carlos is good. You should hire him. Great guy. You don't want to lose out on a great guy.
If they need a reference,
So that's
have
kind
them
of
call me, bro.
That's a kind of two-step thing, because the two-step thing, I know the way they do it now is kind of like, let me see what he's talking about, he's qualified, and two is like, let me just double check whether he's telling the truth or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it is, you know. It's not really what you're qualified and what you're not. It's a bullshit process, and you know, I mean, I found it on Reddit where it's kind of like, no, they really base your first interview on charisma.
I know for the next time I apply,
Just go in there and shoot the shit.
yeah,
That's
like,
all.
hey, what things I know
Oh,
about
by the way, I
JetBlue?
got your
What's
coffee.
up? Yeah, like,
Things I know about JetBlue. Your airplanes are blue.
Like JetBlue.
Your
you know?
logo is blue.
I fly JetBlue all the time, you know. So it's like,
Have you ever flown JetBlue?
Yeah, I did. I have. Last time I took a trip, I went on JetBlue.
Oh, you went to
I went to Texas, Austin. We flew down
Austin.
to Austin, yeah.
Yeah.
That was JetBlue. It was nice. It was okay. Nice shiny plane. Very comfortable ride. Stewardess were cute. Food was okay.
yeah, but even the terminal at Boston is so much nicer than all the other terminals, though.
Yeah,
Like-
I agree. It was really nice. It was nice. It was roomy. It was quiet. I feel like, well, I've only flown JetBlue the majority of the time, but there's more room, more spacious.
Because if you go to, like, I know Delta's like the leading carrier, like they're like the big dogs, like that's the pit bull in the Chihuahua room, you know. But just like the difference in airplanes is like crazy. Even I'm talking about walking to the kiosk at JetBlue. It's like, where the hell am I going? Like, this is nice. Yeah, for Delta, it's kind of like, oh, they're like, welcome to the gas station. Like, what's up? You know, like,
Do you want regular?
yeah, exactly.
You want regular gas?
Now
You
you
look like you want regular gas.
yeah.
You know what's fucked up? Like when you go to the gas station, the guy is sometimes pumping the gas for you. You want regular? I was like, dude, you think I'm cheap, motherfucker? Yes,
Look like
yes, I do want regular. This motherfucker just think I'm cheap, but really, I want regular. I'm not putting that expensive ass gas on my old ass truck. Yeah, interviews are a motherfucker. I'll tell you, I've taken interviews, and even in Italy, I had to take it in Italian, and it was unnerving a little bit. But since I'm a talker, I just fucking talk. And you're in front of a person, so it's different. You know what I mean?
Hopefully be that. I mean, I honestly haven't even interviewed that much in my life. Like, to a sense. Like, I've had jobs, but let's see, I got out of the military, and like, yeah, they have like to get promoted, you have a board, like, you gotta stand up, be straight, they ask you questions. And that's really it. Like, they ask you questions, you answer them. And it's like, you're pretty nervous because you're fucking.
Yeah, you put on the spot.
Yeah, like,
Regardless.
these are high-ranking people, like, in the room, and they're just drilling you, right? But you study your ass off, so you know the answers. But, so here I've had, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs, right? How many have I had interviews for? 0.
Oh yeah? How'd you get those other jobs?
Literally, so the first one was, my friend, she got, her boyfriend owns a landscape business, so he got me the job. The second one, literally, so you're a laborer, so everybody knows. Like, so if you're a laborer, they talk, you know, especially in Drake it, they just kind of.
To be honest, I don't know.
You're
what
just
that
like,
means.
Carlos, you're going to start next week, kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean?
A laborer.
Like you work for a contract? Is that?
No, a laborer, so like, let's say a laborer is, so like a landscaper, a painter,
Yeah,
a construction worker.
contract, right.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Okay. So you're interviewing for a guy who has a contract, and he's looking for guys to work for him.
Mm-hmm.
And like a friend refers, oh, I got a friend named Carlos. He might be good for you. And you just go up to him and like, oh, hey, you want to paint or like mow some lawn for me? Cool. All right. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
See you on Monday.
Yeah. Come Monday morning, 9:00 sharp.
Exactly. Literally like that. So like, especially like in
So it's
Drake.
not really an interview.
Yeah.
It's more
It's not like yes, how
Right.
you perform though, because I know. So it's like in Drake, like I was saying, they like it's real like small businesses. Like everybody knows everybody over there.
Okay.
It's crazy. So if you have a small business, like they all kind of it's like a small network. Like everybody, they all talk. They all try to help each other.
Yep.
And like they'll be like, oh, they call me Hanky or whatever. We'll get to that later. And they're like, oh, Hanky's a hard worker. So they'd be like, oh, come I'd be like, oh, hey, I'll give you a shot. You want to come work for me? I go, they ain't got no work over there. You want to come work for me? And be like, yeah, bet. So you can go over there and word of mouth, be like, oh, Hankey's a good dude. Like, and then.
And also, your first day is really your interview.
Yeah, so, yeah, definitely. Because if you show up or, like, cause, you know, the bad part is with those type of jobs, like, a lot of times you're going to find a dude who drinks a lot or does a lot of drugs. So he'll show up or he's going to shows up late. Like, that sucks, which I don't show up late, so. But that's the main thing, don't show up late. So you just go work and then you keep, and that's how generally, like, they'll know. Like, be like, oh, you'd be like, hey, man, do you know anybody got work? They'll be like, oh, yeah, man, I got you right now, hold on.
Okay.
But if you don't, like another buddy of mine, he's looking for work still. He's a good landscaper, but he's like, just shows up late. You know what I mean? We know the same people, but I could call somebody right now and be like, yo, what you got for me? And be like, oh, come on, man, let's go. You know, tomorrow morning I could go roof. I never roof, but I mean, I'll be picking up shingles. But
you got a job, doing the job that they need you to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So
reliable.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Reliable. Yeah. I mean, I've done pretty much a little bit of everything. I've done pole plastering. I've sucked. I was terrible worker. Because at the time when I did it, I was 16. I was fucking terrible. I was, on the truck mixing the fucking mix. And it was heavy. Because, Tiago's a big kid. Let's put him on the truck. It's like, fuck. And then I worked in England taking packages and putting them on pallets and stuff for like this distribution company. I worked at Honeydew Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts. I worked at landscaping. I worked one day with my dad, but I was like 15 at the time, so it was different. And then I worked as a janitor for a long time. Lots of toilets I've cleaned, my friend. And I also worked as making parts for washing machines in Italy, and I was like a fucking fast job, man. And I wanted to be the best. I wanted to beat everybody, make the most pieces the fastest, so I could just I worked night shift too. So if you did your whole 750 pieces, you could chill for the rest of the night. So I would finish an hour early, but there was this Romanian dude that would finish 2 hours later. That motherfucker was fast. He had little hands, and he was awesome. So much so that he would finish his, take some of mine, and finish it so we could chill. You know what I mean? In the smoking lounge, just chill and talk, shoot the shit afterwards. That dude, but he was so fucking fast. There was this Italian dude that worked in the other row, and he hated the Romanian dude because the dude was so fast. It was like a competition between them two to see who was faster. But the Romanian dude was skinny. He was tiny dude, tiny human being. He was just made for that job, man. My big ass fucking hands. I really struggled. My fingers were calluses twice as thick, my thumbs, just from trying to do that. And him, not even a callus. He was just he was just fucking good at it. So, and I applied and I interviewed for quite a few jobs in my life. I worked at a pub in England. I've worked, as a boxer in a company in Italy, as a machine operator. I worked in the cardboard factory that was in Ayer down here. I did fucking a little bit of everything. But the longest job I had was as a janitor for a long time. My boss, for years, a guy I'll respect till I die. He's passed away already. He was a Vietnam vet. And he said when he got back, there was a little bit of that. No real respect, He wasn't combat. He was, the guy who put bullets in the guns. Yeah. In the
artillery.
Artillery, yeah. So he wasn't in the shit, in the real, but still, he's still a vet. Yeah, so people didn't respect him. He says guys now don't really understand how it was to come back from Vietnam. We
never will.
Yeah, and he says it's good because it wasn't nearly as nice. And he says that a lot of guys couldn't even find jobs because they were vets. They were like, oh, you baby killer? Fuck you. And that's why a lot of guys ended up in the street, they say.
So, yeah, I mean, that's crazy because it's true. Now they have a lot of things that you can go to, you can get help. You're homeless, they'll give you some place to live. They'll help you find an apartment, all these things. But on the same note, my buddy, he is a police officer now. He went to a job interview, and they told him no because he was a veteran.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And I was like, because he was, yeah.
What was the job?
Right?
Yeah, they discriminated against. And I was talking to him. I was like, dude, like,
could've-
why didn't
you
you
could've
fucking
sued these
sue? And he
motherfuckers.
was like, well, you're not the. He said that. I got pretty mad, so I kind of just acted like an angry veteran. And I was like, well, there it is. Yeah. Huh?
Lash out and sue.
But I mean,
There are laws in place. You can't discriminate for that.
What
type
was
of
the
stuff
job?
nowadays?
I don't know. It was like working in some like, I didn't.
Some stupid company.
Yeah, it was. I didn't really ask. It was just like the story and kept
Well,
it
were they
moving.
like anti-war and stuff like that?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Was it like if it was a job like putting lotion on models? I mean, they could say no, but like seriously, you know what I mean? It's like lotion, Giselle over there. It's like yeah. then I understand them saying, I don't think I want you, but a regular, what the fuck? Some people are weird, man.
I mean, unless it was like a small private little company somewhere.
Still,
Yeah, but still, so
that's
Yeah, I
still
mean, yeah.
too much.
It's still kind of.
He could
wrong
have
to
just
do
said,
it.
"We'll give you a call."
exactly.
Yeah. Right.
And
that's
sweep
Just
it under the rug.
Right. Be more professional about it instead of saying, "Oh, you're a veteran." No, we're not taking.
Yeah, like no.
That's messed up.
That's some fucking crazy liberal
Yeah,
shit,
so
man.
that's-
Yeah,
yeah.
but that's the same thing. Like a lot of articles that a lot of college students are coming out with is like, so like, a lot of veterans are really insensitive to like how like they'll have the safety space thing, like oh, you're here to be safe, like you know what I mean?
So I can ride my vegan bike.
Yeah, but veterans.
Fucked up.
Veterans just don't give a fuck. They're like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe it's because of the environment they were in before. You're not supposed to be sensitive. You're supposed to take the shit
and keep
and
it moving.
walk through it. Yeah,
and just keep it moving.
like did the other time. Sylvester Stallone said in the movie, he says, "It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you get hit, and keep moving forward." And his mouth sideways and shit.
It's kind of true.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the military is the exact embodiment of that phrase, is how hard you can get hit and keep moving. Jacob, stop scratching. He tears his fucking belly up, man, by scratching. Sorry, guys. But yeah.
It's okay. It's like, don't be a sensitive little guy.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking take it and move on.
So what's up with the safe space and stuff? Like the guys don't.
So like a lot of schools, they don't want like, so like, oh no, we don't want so they'll petition for it. It's not gonna pass, but like some kids they'll petition to not have veterans be at these schools because they're so insensitive to things.
What?
Yeah,
These kids need to grow balls.
but they give them safe spaces.
It's
everything-
becoming too insensitive where we're just gonna fucking die out.
Exactly. Like
It's becoming nerfed.
It's like all of a sudden, it's like I imagine this back in the days where we're out like caveman days and we're hunting. It's like, oh, I'm
Dead.
too scared to hunt.
Yeah, like
It's like okay,
Starve.
so the perfect example is like you're using Spartan 300, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, only the strong survive. Oh,
Yeah.
this one is weak. Right into the valley because you're not strong enough. Genetically, he wasn't strong enough that they saw already, and all of a sudden the kid's got to go to trials, and at 10 years of age, he goes out in the wilderness to fend against fucking lions in the middle of the winter. If you're not strong enough, like, okay, that's an over exaggerated example, but
Yeah,
if you're not
absolutely.
strong enough to like fend for yourself and like take criticism and not be able to like, don't talk about that because I'm too sensitive to hear about it.
So I know what you're saying, and also I think about like, what if we get rid of bullies 100%? Do you think that's a good thing?
You're not going to get rid of bullies 100%.
No, but I'm saying, do you know what I mean? Maybe, I'm not saying bullies are good, but I'm saying that maybe a little bit to toughen you up a little bit.
No, we should. It's like, it's not even.
I'm not saying that guy that takes your lunch money and shoves you in a closet. I'm saying like a little bit of like toughness. Don't you think that'll help people
No.
for the real? Because the real world is not a safe space.
You
man.
can't. I'm not gonna put on.
You're
the
not
bullies.
safe when you're driving. You can't like close your eyes and fucking step on the gas.
I'm gonna
and
put this on the parents.
You can't do that.
End game. I'm gonna put this on the parents because the
Yeah,
parents.
but
are
if
not
the
raising
parents
them.
were in a safe space, they don't know how to teach their kids not to be in the real world. Like a company, you have a boss, and if you fuck up, your boss is gonna fucking get there. You're not gonna be like, you can't talk to me because I need my safe space. You can't do that.
If I'm gonna be a father,
I'm
gonna say, if that kid pushes you, you push him back. Stand up, stand your ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't be pushed. Push back. And if he's gonna hit you, you hit harder. You fight back. Okay, there's a lot of things where, I'm going to say violence is not the answer, but sometimes you have to stand for yourself and defend yourself. There'll be a bully on one end, and he's going to pick on you and, throw jabs and stuff like that. And you can't be like, oh, he hurt me, and go run into your mom or your father, and they can be like, oh, well, Billy, we'll go talk to his teacher and his principal,
we'll talk to his dad.
And we'll get him expelled because no kids deserve that. No, I'll be like, hey, listen, okay, little Steven, little Jimmy, when he hits you again, I want you to stand there and say, do not hit me. Because if you hit me again, I will hit you back. I'm going to hit you a lot harder. That's what needs to be taught.
Yeah.
You can't be like, don't run away. That's the wrong message. Don't run away.
Predators run after you, man.
Exactly. And you know what? And you know what predators do? They're going to eat their prey.
No, you're totally right. But the sense of, so we don't want to teach violence, right? So
yeah, no, absolutely. Do not teach violence because violence is not the answer. But when push comes to shove,
you have to
defend yourself.
Yeah.
Don't fight fire with fire. Don't fight fire with fire. There's better ways to go around that. But it's really hard to really, what do you call that?
Find a solution?
Not find a solution, but it's really hard to fight fire with fire.
So, I think, there's things here, like if somebody pushes you, push that dude back. If somebody says something, like, so now they're going to come at us because, you're Asian, you're South American, well, I'm South American, they're going to come at us for that. Like, they should be like, dude, who the fuck are you to judge me for these things, right? Those things shouldn't be allowed. Or I shouldn't judge you for what you can do because of if you're a man or a woman. Or if you choose to be gay, or if you choose not to be gay, or if you choose that you were born a dude and now you want to be a girl. Like, that's all you. Do you, right? I shouldn't, if I don't believe in you were born a man and now you're a girl, like, I should keep my mouth shut and not say it to you. I'm going to go say it to my friend, right? I believe in that. But now, like, I was in class, and I was talking to a dude, and he's like, oh, sit back here, man, don't be a pussy. And I was like, I ain't no pussy. You're the fucking pussy. And then some girl was like, ah. And I was just like, and I looked at her, I was like, I wasn't talking to you. And then she just kind of was like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. There's another big thing too, like today, where people kind of eavesdrop on things as well, and like they'll take offense to what you say to your friends, not directly towards them, but they'll still take offense to it anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's really more like, just mind your own business. That wasn't directed towards you, and he's
also,
not.
You were not saying pussies are weak.
It wasn't in that.
It's just that it's.
No.
You know
Here's the
what I
thing.
mean?
It wasn't in that context that you were implying either with your friends. She took it way out of context and now taking that be offensive and like bringing up another issue altogether.
Exactly.
That wasn't meant to be in the first place, And going back to what I was saying, you don't fight fire with fire. And then what I was thinking was like, don't fight fire with fire. Be better than that. Take the higher ground is what I meant.
Yeah, most of the time.
There'll
be circumstances where you have to.
If you're gonna be pushing,
we gotta
me,
burn everything
back. But like, if you're just gonna say, if you're gonna be talking to me because I'm Asian, you're talking like mad shit to me, and all that stuff, and maybe I'll be hard-headed, and attack you back, same level. It's like, well, because you're a South American, blah blah blah, and I'll be like, oh, if that's how you feel about Asian people, that's your opinion. I have no quarrel with you. I'm gonna walk away.
It's a free country, right?
But if you're going to come to me and was like, you're Asian, don't hit me. I don't care what it was for.
Of course.
That's where, yeah.
Yeah, the line.
Yeah.
I think the line ends at violence. And
Yeah. If it escalates to violence, then that's a different.
Not just that. I think when the shit is real racist, I think that there's a problem there. Like when when you think that you're superior because you were born, at a certain place, at a certain patch of dirt, and because your skin color is a certain skin color, I'm like, come on. You had no fucking input on anything of that. By a roll of the dice, you're fucking born in this patch of dirt. And now you think you're superior because you're born here. You are who you are because of who your parents are, with the environment around you, and because you got lucky to be born there. So now you have your Mr. fucking degree or something. Not taking away some of the credit from the person going after that thing. But you can't just go and say, I look down on that person because he was born, south of the border or north of the border or whatever fucking border. They're still human. We come from the same sack of fucking dirty potatoes, man. Some darker, some lighter. That's it. Some are really rotten, but not because of the skin color or whatever. No, it's just some. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole in any color.
Yeah, you're an asshole as an individual.
Yeah, like if you choose to be an asshole too, and like I have no religion. I don't follow religion. So I believe that in this, I only have this life. I don't have the answers for everything. I'm not saying God doesn't exist. I'm just saying I don't have the answers. So because of I only have this life and I want to live a good life, so I'm good to you, I'm good to you, and I'm good to most people around me. I think people earn my respect right away as soon as I meet them, and then they'll lose my respect once I hear some shit that comes out of their mouth to some of their actions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People say, oh, people got to earn respect. It's like, no, you give people respect right away. And then eventually they might lose it because they are, real douchebags. And because I don't know about, this thing of the afterlife, I make sure that I am righteous here, now. Things that I do it for myself, very selfishly. I want to be good to people because most of the time when you're good to people, they're good back to you, right?
That's true.
And, a smile sometimes go a long way, man.
But I want to see what you were going to say before. What were you going to say?
Oh, you lost me. I'm sorry. What was I?
Damn, he was gonna say something.
Was it the fire against fire?
No. But so here's my thing. When somebody asks you what you are, what do you respond with?
What am I?
Yeah, what are you?
What am I? I'm an individual who's just making it throughout the day.
No, just
ethnically
or
just ethnically. I'm of Asian ethnics. My background is Asian. I grew up in America.
Right?
Yeah.
Born in Thailand.
Born in Thailand, grew up in America. So my background is of Southeast Asian.
Cambodia.
But I relate every day to this the Western world, I guess you can say.
Right. Why can't you just say that you're American?
I could say that.
What is us as minorities? We always, even growing up, I don't know if this is taught into us, is that we don't want to say that we're American.
Actually, it's funny that you said that because if I didn't know you and obviously I don't.
Yeah.
But say if I just met you 2 seconds ago, it's like, where you from? And I'm like, I'm from Drake. That's my first response. Yeah. I live in Drake. I'm from Drake. Where are you from?
He asked me at the beginning of the podcast.
Just so people know who you are.
That's my first response. And then sometimes people actually say, "Oh no, I didn't mean like what town? Like where did you come from originally?" And I was like, and that's when I was like, "Oh, you're speaking of my ethnic background."
Yeah, exactly.
That's my.
People ask me all the time that, and I'm like, I was born in Brazil, but I'm American.
But that's just so
I earned my shit.
Some people will argue and be like, I'm not American. And be
like, bitch, you American.
So would you ask me if I identify myself as American? I would say 75% yes. I would say I'm Asian American.
See, this is where
I had a conversation with my wife about that.
This is where I want to I wish I had people could understand is. Yes, you're Asian. I don't want to take that shit away from you. Just like I'm Colombian, and nobody's ever gonna take that shit away from me.
That's interesting because my 2 brothers are born here in America. I was born in Thailand, but they were born here in the United States. So I would like to ask them that since you brought this up. So I'd like to know what they're. That's
You're
interesting.
full-fledged. Just say American. I'm American. A good example was this This woman got, I guess, after the shooting in Florida, like that sucks. This woman got picked up in New Hampshire somewhere because she put some crazy stuff on Facebook.
Okay.
Right. And my girlfriend was having a conversation with her brother. Right. And I say, oh, she says, oh, was that a domestic terrorist? And he says, oh, I don't think so. And I was like, why don't you think so? I was like, is she American? And he's like, no, she looks like she's like from India or some shit. And then I was like, that's not what I'm asking.
Is she American?
Is she American? Like, does she have a fucking iPhone? Does she watch MTV?
Okay.
Does she like rap? And does she fucking eat pizza?
Yeah.
Like, are you American or not?
Ah, I got what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's also like if you were gonna ask me if I was Americanized, based on like you didn't know.
No, if you
me.
identify yourself as like American,
No.
when people
Okay,
say like,
so let's say somebody who just came from another country, like maybe up to 5 years ago.
Mhm.
Would you say they were Americanized up to this point? Like, would you
maybe
ask
not
them?
as much.
So, Americanized and being American, right? So, another great example being in class, right? If I go to school with you, you might not know the best English. You're trying, right? You're learning.
I see where you're going with this.
You know what I mean? You were learning the same stuff. The woman said, excuse me, she said, you Americans are so lucky you have all this stuff. And, but you're sitting in this room with me, so it's not you American, it's us. We're American,
Mhm.
or all American. Because you come here, you live here, you fucking wake up in the morning, you go to work. Yeah, you might be illegal, like, I got that. But guess what? You're fucking American, not because of your skin color, it's because of your way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I go to Colombia, and then there's an Asian person there, guess what that person's gonna say? Like, oh, where you from? They're like, Colombia, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And they're speaking Chinese, making Chinese food, but they'll say they're Colombian because they're Colombian. That's the problem with
I think it's an American thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
So-
I've spoken to people, and the first thing they say is like, where are you from? Or not where you're from, but like, I had this conversation actually with my wife, and then she puts Asian American first. And I said, no. You're American first. You're Asian second. Because you're born here. You've lived here. Sure, you speak your parents' native tongue, but you like me. I got my citizenship after years of living here. And if someone asks me where I'm from, I say I'm American because I live here.
Yeah.
And maybe because I got it much later in life and stuff, but I like to say I'm American, you know. And then people say like, what other
Definitely.
citizenships do you have? Then I was born in Brazil, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean that took a lot more thought into it, but if you were to ask me again if I had more time to think, I would say yeah, I am American. Because
Yeah.
I grew up here in America like all my life, so it's like I have the American culture.
When did your
American
mother
belief.
brought you, Case?
Back when '81, when I was born. I was only after 3 months I was born. I came here.
No
So I
shit.
grew up all my
Oh,
life.
dude, you're
So it's like, yeah,
100%.
I am pretty much. It's America. It's American. I stand for what America believes in, and I will fight for America. You know.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my heritage as well. I will fight for that, but if I'm gonna go to war, I fight for America.
America.
pretty much.
You
yeah.
go
Yeah.
to the Olympics, like,
Yeah. If I go to exactly.
yeah.
I represent America.
America.
I want America to kick
Right.
ass.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
I do. I root for America.
and I think that's where the divide is. I think we're getting taught this, right? Now, because literally there's a huge divide between.
Yeah, you're not born
There's-
thinking differently.
yeah,
you're
there's-
born and then you're taught
They
this
want
kind
to
of
be
stuff.
like that. What is it? That almost like the devices. It's like this. It's like you're, for example, like you're Asian American.
Yeah,
but how
exactly.
much Asian culture do you hold on to versus
Other than the
American?
food. That's it.
You know, it's like you're African American or you're Arabian American or like or whatever sub.
Hispanic or Latino
Right.
American or whatever. Because whatever.
There's so many out there.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's all American.
Yeah.
Why do you put American at the end of it?
Just.
That's
'cause
exactly
if you ask
what I was
another
talking.
person who is so white, so they could be German, Irish, whatever. You ask them what they are. The first thing they're gonna say to you is, "I'm American." Then you'd be like, "Oh, but Where's your family come
they're
from?
like Irish American.
But I've heard Irish American, especially around from Boston here, and they say the same thing. But this is like different than if you go down maybe, you know, South Carolina. If a person is white, they're not going to say, well, I'm English American.
Yeah.
Or I am German American. They're going to say I'm American. But here we have kind of a population that does that. You know, the South Bostonians, they say Irish because they're so proud of, you know,
or even
they're Irish.
In the South, they'll actually just say that I'm Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but then again, I think like, do you think sometimes where if someone would approach one of us and say, "Where are you, like what are you?" and when you respond back American, they'd be like, "No, like where are you?"
that's what I'm trying. So that's what I'm saying though. So we need to teach. Like we're adults, right? So like we need to teach the next generations that are coming, to say that
from the start,
you're just American. Because in this way, there's no fucking divide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As simple as you'll speak to a Puerto Rican person and they'll say they're not American.
They say Puerto Rican.
They're Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking the fact that they're Puerto Rican.
Even if they're born here, they say they're Puerto Rican.
Exactly. So it's like I'm not taking that from them. It's the fact that now there's a divide. I go to school and I take my MCAS, and the first question is, what are you? Like now you already sent me off a divide here.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember taking a test, like a separate test if you were bilingual. Like with all these other kids that fucking were probably only know fucking English, but since their parents are fucking another, like they're Hispanic or Asian, they had to take another test. Like I don't remember what the hell it was called. And you had to like pass it. It was like an aptitude test or some bullshit. I don't remember, but we're creating these divides. Like, why do we need them? Like,
Yeah,
why
that's
do I,
true.
when I apply?
I hate that fucking ethnicity question.
Why do I apply? Why is that a question? Like,
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, I always wonder.
Who cares?
Because you see that everywhere. I mean, I always like I answer
never-
it, but
Yeah,
it's kinda
me
like,
too, I do
always
too.
question like, why do they need to ask?
like what is
You know?
they say for like equal opportunity or like what is that other word?
Equal opportunity. Why even bother asking?
Exactly, because you're not. So that what is that called?
It's not really equal, is it?
No.
It's kind of like
It's
they're
funny
also-
because
meet the quota of hiring X
Oh,
amount of
I need to-
X amount of Hispanics, X amount of Black people, and X amount of Asians. Like
Yeah.
that's
Do you know
I need to meet that
something?
quota.
Do you know something that's weird?
No, that
Every
is-
time I answered those questions, I put Latino and white. I always did that.
I just
I do both because my grandparents are like from Poland, Germany, and Italy. Like I don't
Yeah,
have
but that's
any.
like saying
and then I was born in Brazil, so it's like I'm still Latino because I was born
my
in Brazil.
great grandparents from my mother's side are from Spain.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put, you know, like they don't give a fuck, you know. But why do we need that? We're creating a divide ourselves
Absolutely.
to be like, you're not. So when you see the white on there, you automatically think American. When you see a whole other column for Latino, oh, you're not. Obviously, you're not American.
Not 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not American.
No.
So that's why I'm saying, like, there's always that divide. And like I was saying, though, I already told that story. Oh, yeah. So she was like, is she American? And I said, yo, I told my girl, I said, with the phone thing, with the girl that they locked up that was Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, babe, that's mad racist. And she said, how is that racist? So me and her, we had this argument. Like, I know she cares for me, like, but she didn't experience the same things that I did.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that she didn't grow up with a lot of money and like I get it. But don't be like that's when you say something or like when somebody that she cares about said, "Oh, you know, all these Dominicans getting all these benefits and I'm over here working my ass off." And it's like,
You can get them too.
you know what I'm saying? Like why do you gotta say all these demands? Just like,
Yeah.
why do you have to? You know, why do we have to?
Just really stereotyping.
Exactly.
Yeah, the stereotype is
So
pretty
we
bad.
set these divides ourselves, and
Yeah, and even if you're not racist, you still have that. The stereotype's still in
it's
your.
always
It's
in the background.
ingrained in your brain.
Always.
I think in everyone.
It's ingrained in your brain.
Whether it's
Like you're not racist because it's not like don't walk in
Totally.
here because you're fucking some other color. It's like, no,
You already have
that's
that.
not gonna happen. But you still sometimes adhere to the stereotype without even wanting to do it. You just do it anyways.
It's just out there in society that's already what we grew up with. It's
maybe we should work on that.
But you can't work on it unless it's like
it's got to be taught in schools and at home.
Exactly. Like I'm not gonna front. My daughter probably grow up and I say some fucking racist ass shit all the time. Like I do. Like, I'll be the first one to be like, yo.
We do too, all the time. But it's like we joke about it. But
Exactly.
it's not like
serious.
Right. It's nothing to be like not trying to cause harm against anyone.
Exactly.
I'm real racist against Brazilians, so you don't even know. These motherfuckers don't know time management. They're always fucking late.
Well, I feel
not
like
all of them.
Hispanics, I feel like, you know.
Not all of them. They don't show up. They don't call me. They just think my fucking time is some bullshit, and it pisses me off. I'm losing like thousands of dollars because they don't show up, don't tell me, and then they call me.
It's because you're
afterwards.
the people, though.
Yeah, it's like it's a Brazilian thing, not being on time and stuff. So I'm always like, motherfuckers.
He won't mind. He knows.
Yeah, he's cool. Cause I'm cool. Like I say, all right, whatever then. But I've yelled at a couple of people. I've only yelled at a couple of people in like quite a few years. People do this, and then I yelled at some guy. He was Puerto Rican, I think, yeah, and he booked the appointment, and then he went and got it somewhere else, but never told me, because his buddy does tattoos. I don't know, cousin, who the fuck, and it's cheaper, so he got it somewhere else, but he never told me. The day of his tattoo, I call him up, and he's like, oh, dude, I already got it with my buddy or whatever, and I'm like, you couldn't have fucking told me, man. What kind of some fucking childish shit is this? That's what I said. I was like, this is fucked up. All right, you know what, whatever. I'm not mad, just whatever. It's whatever. I'll call somebody else. Really, I want to say, like, go fuck yourself. You should have fucking texted me. Your appointment was a month ahead. If you got it yesterday, just send me a text. It takes like 10 seconds to be like, hey, Tiago. You could just say, like, Tiago, you know what? Fuck you, man.
Like, I ain't going.
I don't want my motherfucking tattoo anymore. And it's like, cool. My buddy way better than you. Go fuck yourself. But it's something. Now I can call somebody to come and fill your spot. Because that, it feels like there's no respect for my time.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. It's like, it's not because he was Puerto Rican that I'm mad. It's just what he did. Doesn't fucking matter what ethnicity he is. But sometimes like people would say like, oh yeah, Puerto Rican, I knew it. Or if he was Brazilian, which happens all the time too, it's like, ooh, Brazilian. That stereotype comes up.
Don't you feel like I could so my cousin, she's Cambodian, right? And I'll go be over there, and her middle name's Rata, right? Rata. In Spanish, it sounds like rat.
Yeah, rata.
Rata. Yeah. So then, you'll show, I'll make fun of her, and then, she'll make fun of me, and it's all good. Like, we ain't mad at each other. Like,
no, you're just
family.
playing around.
You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
That's it. But I feel like when somebody else so in the Army, there's a lot of people from the other side of the country. And when they say to you, oh no, man, you're cool, you're different. Like, why am I different?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, because I joined the Army, I'm different. So if you didn't know that I joined the Army, you would treat me different. So now when they say, oh, you're just a fucking Mexican, should I take offense to that?
You're just a fucking... First of all, you're not Mexican. Second of all, what the fuck?
But should you take offense?
If it
because
says,
these dudes it was in the Army, or even the same thing as they call me Hanky, right? And, I don't say nothing. But that's my white name, That's where I work at, right? Should I say nothing or keep it moving? Like, what should I allow? So...
I think it should be addressing, because I want to say what they said to you was not quite out of respect and not quite out of derogatory in a way too, but it's like, where are you respecting me? Are you making fun of me? It's like, well,
am I better or am I worse?
I would say no. Please address me as Carlos. Okay, I'm here with you guys. I'm on the same level as you guys.
But now you're an asshole because you said that, and now you ain't getting work. So what do you do?
But you stand up for yourself. I think that's the most important thing.
But then you don't get work. So you know what I mean? So it's now you became that dude now. You're like, oh, that dude got offended for no reason. Because you'll get offended for no reason, right?
But then again, I don't want to be called, like a fucking gook. just because I'm Asian and that's kind of how they saw it. It's like, no, I'm not a gook. I'm not Vietnamese. I'm of Southeast Asian heritage, but I came to join here to do my thing, and I would like the same level of respect as everyone else that came here.
But see, but nobody fuck with you now because now you're insensitive. Now you're sensitive.
I'm sensitive.
You know what I'm saying?
Just ask me how
the
sensitive
army is
I
a
am.
different environment
We'll find
too,
out.
though.
Huh?
I'll leave
The
it at
army is a
that.
different environment.
That's all.
But
I'm
that's the
say.
thing, though. So, what do you allow, or do you think when certain people say it, it's more offensive? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, first of all, is it a certain individual or is it a group? If it's just him, then fuck him. But if it's a whole group, then I think we have a problem.
but usually it is the same group that says it. You know what I mean? So
Same group as group and everyone
People
else
from a
against
certain
me?
area.
yes,
Or
yeah, people from a certain area say it. So
Well-
should you take offense or not? That's what you know what I mean?
I would try to find a good approach to educate them.
But they don't.
Educate them.
You
But
say-
if they're gonna be
Listen, man, they got that kind of talk. They're fucking monkeying around and shit. They're not gonna listen to you.
I will try to educate them, but if they want to still, like stoop to that level of idiocy, then they're idiots, and I'm not going to deal with idiots.
Everybody
But
has
I
a
have a
different
group of
view.
people who knows me and respect me, but that group of people does not want to. They will never learn, okay? Then they're not worth my time. And that's where I came back from where I said earlier, I take the high ground. Because at least I'm not stooping to their level.
So you don't stoop, but you just don't say. You know,
I say something, just like I said earlier, but if they don't want to be educated about it and they can continue to harass me with whatever bullshit they're going to say, maybe I'll take it, I don't know. I do not know how what goes on with the...
No, but so it's just like an example for whatever my situation is. Like, I honestly just keep it moving. Like, yeah, you can call me Hanky. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm just here to work. Like,
Are they harassing you in the first place?
no. So
it's
it's not harassment. So it's like So let's say when I was in the army, they always say, "Oh, you Mexican?" and you'd be like, "No, I'm Colombian." And then they say, "Oh, it's all the same thing."
Oh, what's the difference? Like, no, there's a difference.
And
that's
like,
where
but there is a difference. But then they don't want to hear it, right? Because it's like, who gives that?
Yeah.
Like, oh, who gives a fuck, dude? Right?
No, that's like me. That's like me calling you. You're just another honky white bread from wherever.
Yeah, I'd be
because
like,
of
no,
your-
you're Cajun people, man.
Oh, so you're from that part of the country. It's cool, and that's it,
yeah.
right? Or it's
I guess
kinda
you
like,
can give it right back and then
yeah,
whatever.
you can get right back and maybe toss it up and like be. There's a lot of level or whatever, but just be guys, whatever, giving shit. But is the guy respecting you, or is he looking down on you when he says it?
That's the great point you did there. So I used to go to a group, right, with a bunch of other veterans. And this is where that came up at, was the jokes were always in the army, right? But these veterans, some reason in this group, politics came up. It was before, you know what I mean? Should not come up. But anyways, it got to the point where it said, "Oh, you're different." And I said, "How am I different?" Right? Like, "Oh, because we know you." And then I said, "So if you see my mom is having trouble at the store because she doesn't know very good English, and you know she's Hispanic, what would you do?" Like, "Oh, I would help you out. I would help her out because it's your mom." And I said,
Because you were the exception.
"Exactly. How do you know who my mom is? You don't know her because they don't.
Right.
So
If you saw another old woman,
who was having trouble at the grocery because she didn't know much English, you wouldn't treat her right.
right?
Yeah.
Or myself, because I am Hispanic, or whatever, you're
Right.
gonna treat me wrong, but not me."
Just because you don't know me, you would treat
Right.
me wrong. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
That's weird.
Okay.
So, but you could call me Mexican, and it's the same thing, because you know me and it's a joke.
Mhm.
But they turn around, and since they don't know that gook,
Yeah.
it's fucking different.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah. There's that. Yeah. They make exceptions for themselves based on they're not accepting. What is it? What's your background?
Colombian.
Colombian as a whole. They're only accepting Colombian as Carlos that we know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, boys, we're an hour and a half in.
Dang.
And
Wow,
I
that's a
know,
good
shit
talk.
gets crazy.
Good luck.
It's really just a talk, right? You see, Carlos, what I told you? We sit and we have a conversation.
I like this conversation. I learned a lot from you. I like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It opens up a
Very
lot of things.
insightful.
It was really insightful.
Got some
You know.
life to teach right there. Hey, Carlos, we have a thing, and we say quote of the day. You say your quote.
Yeah.
Just say something that comes to mind.
Don't give no shit if you can't take no shit.
Good job.
Good one. Very good one. I'm going to say, don't ever judge a book by its cover. And it's, you said it everywhere. You hear it everywhere, but, take it literally.
All right, I'm going to take on that and say read between the lines. Always. Anyways. Read between the lines, man.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Don't just watch porn. Read books, too. And thanks, everybody, for watching. And we're out.